What up, everybody? Welcome to the Smoking Tire Podcast. This episode is brought to you by Dillon Optic Sunglasses, the official eyewear of the Smoking Tire Podcast. You know those glasses you see? I'm wearing them in every single video. Sometimes if I do hard launches, they fly off my head into the back seat or bulkhead of the car. Those are Dillon Optics. They're the official eyewear of the Smoking Tire Podcast, and I have been wearing them for 11 years, and only them. And it's not just that they have provided me with eyewear that's kept me from wearing them. These are some of the best glasses on the market. The NIR lens technology means that looking through a pair of Dillon Optics is like HD life. They're durable. I beat the crap out of these things. They come in like a dozen different frame styles. You've got plastic, you've got aviator, metal. They even come in prescription. So go to our website, thesmokingtire.com, and click on the Dillon Optics banner on the homepage. And we will send you, if you buy a pair, or for every pair you buy, I should say, we'll send you a free Smoking Tire t-shirt as a thank you to supporting the people who support us. Dillon Optics and the best sunglasses ever. Go to thesmokingtire.com and click on the Partners tab to get it. And we are also finally, but certainly not leastly, brought to you by Tradecraft Farms, the official ganja of the Smoking Tire Podcast. Whether it's smokables, edibles, aerosolables, vapables, think Tradecraft first. These guys, they grow the ultimate fire. I have seen the stash. I have been to the facility. It's incredible. The ganja is extremely fire, and I can't believe this is a commercial that I get to do. It's amazing. Give them a follow, Tradecraft_farms on Instagram. Visit one of their locations if you're in California, one of their retail locations, or if you are somewhere else where it is legal, ask for Tradecraft Farms at your local dispensary.
On this episode of the Smoking Tire Podcast, we introduce you to a new friend, Pinstripe Chris. I liked him on the name already. My boy Jay Ryan told me about this dude. Didn't really know what to expect, but I checked out his art, both on cars and on canvases, and the dude has serious talent when it comes to painting, drawing, both of cars and on cars. Jay Ryan joins us in studio. Pinstripe Chris on the Smoking Tire Podcast.
You definitely need some sound. I don't. Do you ride motorcycle, Chris?
I do, but I also daily drive a roadster, so wind noise is like my life.
What type of roadster?
It's what's left of a '69 Volkswagen Bug.
Oh, that's a fucking roadster.
That's a loud experience.
A '69 Bug with no roof.
No roof,
well.
a windshield that's about 6 inches tall.
That's like the loudest vehicle imaginable. Zach's digging through your Instagram, Pinstripe_Chris.
I'm looking for a shot of it.
All we found are lots of amazing drawings and paintings.
Thank goodness. I don't really post my cars that much on my feed.
Good for you.
Oh, really?
Honestly,
interesting.
Yeah. Good for you.
I don't because nobody cares.
No, you just like it's just your feed is full of outward creativity, not necessarily just here's my car in different settings.
I'm not really a lifestyle kind of person. I live my life, and that's cool. It doesn't matter.
Having said that, is that your car on your fucking shirt?
No, but it is a piece of artwork that I did.
It looks like an arted out beetle a little bit on your shirt.
It is
blocked by the mic.
It is.
It would be ironic if we just had that conversation.
I know.
Speaking of, can't find it on Instagram, but here it is right here.
Right here.
It'll have you were wearing the full Pinstripe Chris clothing line.
Yes, exactly right.
No, I once Jay told me who you were, I started following you on Instagram, and you're a great follow because your drawings and your paintings are excellent.
Thank you. That's all I post.
you brought me a very sick, very very sick painting. One of my employees, I'm so sorry for this distraction, but one of my employees is at my house right now picking up the shop laundry. And what I need to do is remotely open my garage for him.
Somebody's got the Chamberlain.
Isn't it cool that we live in the future? That's so rad.
That is cool. You can open a thumbprint on a door. Like, we can do that now. I can just open
That's
from
pretty rad.
5 miles away.
That's really cool.
It's the Liftmaster one.
Oh, pardon me.
But sorry about that. But your Instagram is sick.
Thank you.
It's full of drawings and paintings of beautiful cars.
Thank you.
And what got you going on this?
On painting and drawing or posting on Instagram?
Oh, fucking Instagram. Painting and drawing.
I've always worked in the car industry, and
Are you
early on.
secretly like 60 years old?
I'm actually 62.
How
This
old
year's
are
my
you
birthday.
really?
I'm 34.
Okay, so all right, so you're not like a Benjamin Button. Okay, cool.
Very nearly. So close. Yeah, I'm an old baby, actually, is what I am.
Do you actually pinstripe on cars?
I used to. So in my career of car things, I've done so many different things. And at one point, I was pinstriping full-time, which is where my pen name came from, and it just stuck. So that's why I'm
it's
still.
a good nickname, actually.
It's not
I
bad.
don't know. It's got a good cadence to
Yeah,
it.
but it's not true to the times. I'm still getting calls for people asking me to do pinstripes, and I'm like, I'll do it still sometimes.
Well, there's an easy solution to this. Just crank the prices.
No.
Just crank the prices. Yes, I pinstripe. It's $50,000.
That's right.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to say change your name.
Eventually, one of them will go, okay.
Okay.
And you'll be like, I'm glad I took this
I have
challenge.
the Pinstripe Chris pinstriping my car.
Then you
Don't
can-
say no. Just say you're very booked.
That it's not a bad strategy.
No,
it's not a bad
it
strategy.
works.
You know, it's funny on Instagram. There's like 3 different Pinstripe Chris's. There's like Chris Pinstripe and then Pinstripe Chris, and they're all in different parts of the country.
Oh,
right.
so you need to make your sub handle the original,
The real.
OG.
the original,
Yes, the
Pinstripe
real.
Chris.
Yeah.
like fucking
Original
Ray's
Ray's
Pizza. Yeah. Or Tommy Burger. Here in LA, if you don't know about Ray's Pizza in New York, it's the Tommy Burger, where there's one original and then a bunch of knockoffs.
Yeah.
Oh wow,
Yeah.
interesting.
Did you not know that?
I'm not
Famous
from
Ray's,
California.
Where are you
famous
from?
Ray's.
How familiar are you with Maryland?
Old Bay seasoning and that really
that's
long
something.
tunnel.
The Inner Harbor.
Yeah, and I watched every season of The Wire.
Okay. All right.
What else
well,
Homicide for
what
me.
did I miss?
Okay. That covers a good portion of the state. I'm from the Maryland side of Washington, D.C. is the
Okay.
best way to say that.
That's like the nice part, right?
It's got rough edges.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, but not.
Nicer.
I guess it.
Sorry.
I don't love it.
You're over here now.
Yeah,
as
it's
Dice
better to
would
say I'm from there. It's a different
hilarious.
place, but because I'm not from here, there's all this cool stuff that I get to learn about California and LA for the first time every day.
That's awesome. My wife is calling me because I have to close the garage door.
The future gets better.
Sorry, the future is still the present.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but no. How did you get started on pinstriping though? That's like an old man's activity.
That's
I don't know
true.
a
And I was
pinstriper
like
under
22
60.
when I started, but it's not like I was good.
Did you have a father or an uncle or an
Not even
inspiration?
close. No.
Did you want to be a surgeon, but without the stress? I feel like pinstriping just requires like these precise, delicate movements.
Oh, you should see how much coffee I drink related to the precision of pinstripes
Jeez.
and artwork. I think at the time that I was starting to do pinstriping, I was working at a hot rod shop in Maryland. And one of the guys I worked with was like, you should try pinstriping. At that point, I had been doing airbrushing for like 4 or 5 years. So I was acclimated with the hand-eye coordination of the things. So he just said, you should try pinstriping. And so I did.
Does spray painting lead into airbrushing, which then leads to
Yeah.
Is
Did it
this
start
like
with mischief?
How do I make
There's-
this legal?
There's a long journey there, but graffiti and spray can stuff is so horrendously illegal, as you can imagine. In an area like DC, skateboarding is illegal there.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
of course spray can stuff is. But when I was growing up, people didn't sign their names to things. It's a little bit of a different time.
Right. What is the style when you're like, are you literally doing custom hot rods? Or are you doing like the shit at dealerships? Or like pinstripers are a weird bunch.
You're
man.
not wrong. They are a weird
The
bunch.
steady hand is like super, super crazy. How do you find out you're awesome at that?
You don't. You spend a long time sucking at it.
Oh.
And then hopefully you get good.
What was like the most requested kind of thing? Like scallops?
You would think so. Having started on the East Coast with this type of stuff, custom cars on the East Coast is so different than custom cars on the West Coast. So the type of requests that I got for stuff once we moved here was completely different. So more of what I was doing there was what you consider more like lowrider or traditional hot rod style designs on the hoods and the trunks. There weren't a lot of long line stuff. I never did dealership stuff. I don't do good with that type of bureaucracy or being told what to do
You
or
never had to do a
expectations.
town car?
No. Not unless it was
Little
being
arrow
driven in
at
my
the
shop.
Dude, they'd throw it in for you. Sure. It'd be like, you're throwing it in. Like, what color even are you throwing it in?
What are
you
your
doing
initials?
here?
Let me get that under the door handle for you.
They love that on the resale.
Of course they do.
Telling me you want the coupe d'elegance without the pinstripe?
Right. The pinstripe says Alberto.
I don't think so.
Coupe
We don't sell it that way.
Coupe d'elegance.
That's a Jay Leno. I took that
That's
from
a
Jay Leno.
fucking good. We need to put a poll up. What's a better pronunciation? Coupe d'elegance or Merlot Broham? Have you ever seen The Great White Hype?
Yeah,
If you haven't, it's
sure.
the best fucking movie ever. Merlot Broham. You mean Brom?
I can't take credit for that. That was Jay Leno, though.
It's a good Leno joke, though. Oh my God! I had a Mercury Mountaineer. Do you remember what those are?
Yeah, the
It's
Ford
a
Explorer,
Mercury
right?
Yeah,
Explorer,
exactly.
right?
Yeah.
And they threw in the pinstriping.
Yeah.
Lucky.
And then on the back corner of the truck, the guy drew like a Bob Ross. He did like he put a fucking mountain.
Oh shit.
And then he hand wrote Mountaineer, and I was
Wow.
like, look, man. I didn't ask you for the editorial.
This pinstripe is way too self-aware.
Yeah.
And I was trying to be like kind of like gangster, like like hard trucks were just in. I was gonna put TVs in the truck, and this dude he did
mountain
a nice
wasn't-
job, but he put a little landscape on the back, and I was like, I'm not living in Delray Beach here. I'm living in Philadelphia. This
Signed
is
it Happy Trees. And I named that truck Happy Trees.
This is unbecoming of a mountaineer.
That would have been a good custom license plate at
Right?
the time, yeah. Before they might figure that one
No
out.
mistakes, only happy accidents or whatever.
Right. No, but I really like, you have a real Foose-esque drawing style.
Thank you. It's not a coincidence.
You bang them out at
I
what
do.
seems like real fast.
I work really, really fast.
You work really fast, which is really interesting. You brought a 4 foot by 4 foot painting
It's as big as the Magnus one.
Yeah.
that you said you did in a morning.
Yeah.
Which is, if is accurate, is pretty fucking impressive.
I
Zach,
thought it
if
was
you
like
scroll
this
down
big.
his
Oh, wow.
Instagram, you can see the painting that Chris did of my Safari, which is fucking pretty cool.
This is a rad car.
It is a very rad car. It's. Did you see it downstairs? Did Eric show it to you?
There it is.
It's rolled up.
It's filthy from when I took it off road the other day.
Nice.
Whoa.
But
That's what it's for.
I like the speed at which you work because it's really tight for something that's so fast.
I appreciate that.
That's fucking cool.
I think you get more, a little bit more liveliness or action out of something that is done faster. I think the slower and more precise you are, especially with artwork, you kind of lose the soul in the process.
Well, it has an energy.
Exactly.
Certainly.
That you can't synthesize.
Yeah.
If you were to sit there and precisely make drips and brush strokes, it would come across just wrong. It would look wrong.
No, I can picture the artwork that it would look like.
Yeah.
It would look like the kind of like sock hoppy shit that you saw on posters in like the
Over-stylized.
70s and the 80s, right?
Yeah.
Over stylized.
Yeah.
Like it's got a Photoshop filter on it or something synthetic.
If it
Yeah.
were sold at Spencer's Gift, it would have a couple neon stripes on it, that kind
Yeah,
of
no,
thing.
you need to have some energy to the thing. You know who, like Camillo, when he paints, Camillo has really good energy too. It's because he's a fucking maniac, probably.
Are you a
yeah.
maniac?
Secretly.
What
yeah,
I
you
remember
could-
about you is when I first met, he was on our show twice, and the first time I thought, oh, he's doing a shtick. Oh, I wish he was just being himself. And then I realized this is just who Pinstripe Chris is. You are kind of
The
this
caffeinated
character.
East Coast.
You are this character, and it's just who you are. And that's when I started to really grow to love you.
Well, I
was like,
appreciate
oh, shit,
that.
This guy's, whatever he is, he's the real deal.
I think we all live in lives that are divided so much by social media, we don't really get a chance to see who people really are, except for what they share in photos and short video. So I don't really often get a chance to be myself, unfortunately, because I'm limited to these 15-second clips of art.
People are interested. It's the divulgence in content is interesting. People really like very, very short form and
Yeah.
very, very long form.
Yeah. If it's going to be long, it's got to be cinematic and cool.
Yeah, I mean,
if it's going to be short,
one of the
it has
most
to be to the point.
popular forms of media right now is a 3-hour uninterrupted conversation with a comedian.
Isn't that awesome?
You know, that's it's interesting that that's the kind of thing that people are really gravitating towards.
Yeah.
Podcast, is that what you're referring to?
Well, I was referring to Joe's show specifically,
Right.
but podcasts in general. You know, that it's just very long form, and if not that, like Twitter or
Right,
still
right,
image,
right.
15-second clip on
Snapchat,
Instagram or whatever.
TikTok.
I like these in these more detailed paintings that I see. What is this? This is just your website, pinstripechris.com. One of the things I really like about your paintings is you're a fucking G at reflections.
Thank you.
You include the fucking light box in every one of your paintings.
You want to hear something interesting?
Which is hilarious.
These are all great examples. None of these are done from photo references. I make up all the lighting.
The fuck out of here.
I make up all the lighting and color contour for my head.
Stop it.
So there's
you
no
make
photo.
up this. Do you have a light box in your head? So in your head you've pictured, here is what my light box looks like, and I'm gonna, because I can see in a lot of these that your light box is not. It's almost like it's the scaffold of a warehouse with a skylight above it.
Yeah.
So do you have a warehouse and a skylight that you picture this car parked under?
You just thought it would look cool.
I just make it up.
That's fucking crazy.
Because I used to
You're
paint
right.
cars for a living, I have a different sense of how color, contour, lighting, and reflection should work. So I don't need a photo to tell me how the light should work. If I'm going to do a painting and I'm going to highlight a perfect area of a car, I'm going to figure out...
full screen that black 911 tail at the beginning, at the top in the center there, Zach. That's fucking...
993.
These are not clickable.
Oh, they're not full screenable? Upgrade your website,
I know,
Chris.
right? What am I doing? Why
Fucking can't zoom
Why
in.
am
That
I
was
like
a
this?
crazy image.
Yeah, it almost looks like the egg crate.
Can you operate
of
a tattoo
softbox.
gun? Do you tattoo?
I don't. But
See how much
everyone
money
tells
you
me I
could
should.
make?
I live a pretty good life already. I don't need more shit to do.
If you could tattoo with reflections like that
Oh
in a
my
tattoo,
Isn't-
fucking hell. Could
Isn't
you
white
print-
pigment in the skin kind of a tall order?
It's like negative space.
Okay.
As
Well,
long
I
as,
guess
well,
if
if
you-
you're working on a white person, if you're working on a darker person, that could be a problem.
Fair enough.
Yeah, but that's just a fucking problem. What are you gonna do? That headlight is amazing too.
Thank you. This is another one.
Are you trained in any of this, or
I'm
is this?
the least trained artist ever.
Wow.
I didn't go to school for anything. I just
When
I
did you
like.
did you start drawing though? When you were like 6?
I don't know how young I was, but I've always drawn cars. I started doing my
nuts.
first commissions when I was in middle school.
Wow.
Doesn't mean I was good. I was just maybe better than the worst people around me.
What's so
Good point.
interesting is that in
Still,
this
man.
picture we're looking at right now of you painting what looks like a Ferrari 250
Correct.
GT.
GT, yeah.
It's like you go through these lengths to make things really realistic, like part of that headlight. And then also it's just this fucking drip out of it. Which is it doesn't negate, but it provides this stark opposition to the detail, which is like really interesting.
I'm not a
the art
fan
major
of
talking.
like overly realistic art. When people say that they like photorealism, hyperrealism, I think if I want to go see the real world, I'm going to go step outside. If I'm going to spend my time painting something, why would I make it look like a photograph that I could take with my phone?
Well, that's an interesting perspective. I mean, I
I don't think it doesn't take skill to create stuff like that.
I think people just do it, for skill and to both show off and appreciate the skill.
There's nothing wrong with that. I just think to spend the same amount of time, I like to mix a little bit of what I would consider more of a graffiti, grungy style with a little bit of realism. Then we get a little bit of a few different worlds. It's just more interesting to me.
I don't disagree. I just was providing a counter argument for photorealistic
And I don't disagree with your
drawing.
disagreement.
Yeah, dude, I went to an art school, so
I've heard.
I've sat in these lectures,
Yeah.
These critiques where it's
Point,
like
counterpoint.
Yeah,
I
man.
see what you're
I
saying.
mean, for sure. And I'm horrible at drawing, and I had to take drawing.
Oh, wow.
And I got really bad advice from my guidance counselor in my super ritzy schnozzy high school.
Oh.
Who I said I want to design cars. I wanted to do what you were doing here.
Oh, wow.
I wanted to I should have gone to Art Center. I wanted to be Jay Mays or one of those guys.
Oh, yeah.
And this guidance counselor goes, "Oh, you want to design cars? Well, you need to be a mechanical engineer." Well, that's fucking horribly wrong.
That's the other end.
horribly wrong. It's so far off.
Yeah.
But I burned a year of college doing that.
At least
and
it was
then
only 1 year.
and then- yeah, right. I didn't. And then but I'm so jealous of people who can draw like this, either through natural talent or through training or whatever. That childhood me wanted to be able to do what you could do fucking so badly.
Well, it makes you feel better. Childhood me also wanted to do it.
Well, you put in the 10,000 hours or whatever it is.
Maybe, but my journey is not a straight line. I have a lot of side roads that I took to get where
What kind of side roads?
I did auto body and paint for almost 10 years.
I could see that.
Yeah, that doesn't really fit so well with doing this type of artwork. And
But were you allowed to express yourself creatively through metal and paint? Or was it really just fixing shit?
A little bit of both. When I first started, it was collision industry, so that creates a good basis for stuff down the road. But later, I got to do more of the airbrushing and the pinstriping, the complete cars, and I enjoyed that a lot. And I like, and then getting into the art cars, using the whole car as a canvas. I like that too.
Art cars are good.
They're so cool.
Were the BMW art cars like a big inspiration to you?
Interestingly, at the time that I was starting to do art cars, the internet was still in its infancy, so I hadn't really heard of them before. I'm glad
What
to
kind
know
of
about
art
them
cars
now.
were you looking at or inspired by? Just like hand painted stuff, like hot rod shit?
Well, at the time that I was even being exposed to it, there was a graffiti artist in Florida that had done the first Lamborghini that most people know about, the Sharpie Lamborghini.
Oh, wasn't that Mr. Cartoon?
No,
I
Jonas
thought-
Serwinski. No,
was
it wasn't
it?
even me.
that wasn't
no,
you?
I did a different Lamborghini.
You're
but
talking about Brett David's car?
Yes.
Yeah, I remember Brett David's.
Yeah.
The Gallardo.
the Gallardo, exactly.
Yeah, that thing was actually pretty cool.
It was.
I remember back in the day, I was a fan of that. It was clear broad over, right?
It was the other way around. What they did was they clear wrapped the car because they weren't sure how the public was going to perceive it.
Oh, that's fucking lame.
I know.
That's
it's
super lame.
zero
There's
commitment.
nothing.
Exactly.
That's
There's
crap.
nothing
Total
worse.
crap.
You know. Oh, I don't
with
want to
you.
say nothing worse, but if you're going to do an art car, there should be a level of commitment involved.
It shouldn't be one of those things you peel the thing back and the art's gone.
the effort still had to be
I don't
made.
want to throw stones in a glass house
Yeah,
because
yeah.
I love those BMW art cars
Me
so
too.
much, and I had a Mini back in the day. And I worked with an artist named Tristan Eaton, who's a pretty famous artist, actually. Couldn't be a nicer guy. And I've got some Tristan Eaton artwork
nice.
hanging over there. And he turned my Mini into an art car.
that's cool.
And he did it using hand-cut reflective vinyl like they use on fire trucks.
Holy cow.
And so it was black and white, and it looked like a comic book fucking showing. I think you have to Google Garage 419 Mini and it'll come up. There it is.
Oh, wow.
So it looked one way. Look at this. So it looked
that's
black
cool.
and
How
white
does zebra
in
look?
daylight, and then look at how it looked
cool.
when you shined headlights on it. The
Gee
third picture over.
whiz.
It reflected
Like a road sign.
the inverse. So actually, the black turned white, and the white. Yeah, it was crazy.
That's
I
legitimate.
love how comic booky it is.
It was super
That's
comic
so
booky,
cool.
right? It was like looking at a dogfight scene from a World War II comic
rad.
book.
Were you allowed to drive that on the street and stuff?
I drove it for like 2 years like that.
Nobody gave you crap at night, the cops and
No,
stuff?
and actually,
Wow.
look, there, Zach, there's a couple pictures where you could see where I photographed it in daylight, but with a variety of different lights shining at it that made it look somewhere in between those two images. It was really wild. I pity the fool that had to remove the fiber. But that kind of was a unique thing, I think, to defend myself a little bit, because you couldn't do that with paint at the time.
No, that's
Yeah.
like
That
decoupage.
specifically,
It's fair,
yeah.
And it wasn't one wrap. Those are individual
Yeah, exactly.
hand-cut pieces. It took like 3 days to put that on. It
That
was
makes
crazy.
sense.
like
That's really
decoupage.
cool.
But like Porsche just did a Taycan art car, but the whole thing is a wrap.
Kind of defeats the purpose a little bit, in my
Right.
my
Like
opinion.
wrapping is easy now.
Comparatively, and it's not to say that there's not an artist doing the graphic design element that puts the effort in and makes it work, but it's true of a lot of types of artwork. When you have a few people that do the same thing that are called the same thing, one person gets confused for the other. I don't
Right.
do what that guy does. This guy doesn't do what I do. So it muddies the water a little bit.
I'd love to do another art car that was painted.
Nice.
I would do one that was painted
Nice.
for sure. Like it was really cool. Like don't get me wrong, my Mini was obnoxious. It was really, but it was very interesting, and it was such a fun process to like work with Tristan, to think about, to like watch him. Like
Yeah.
I told him to do whatever the fuck he wanted.
Oh, that's awesome.
I gave him no direction.
That's
Really,
even better.
anything you want.
You'll always get the best out of an artist when
And
you
he
do that.
was like about it. It
That's
was
what
fun.
BMW did too, with all their, whether
Yeah.
it was the Warhol one or whichever.
That's smart.
Remember they had them at the Peterson?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you go see them at the
I did,
Peterson?
yes.
That's fucking, they're so
That's
cool.
cool.
What's your favorite one? Do you have a favorite?
Actually, it is the Andy Warhol one.
The Warhol?
Yeah.
It's a cross between that one and I forget
Because
the
of the
artist.
drips?
It's rougher than the other ones, which I
Yeah.
like. And the color, the color combination kind of works. Some of the other ones are weird color choices, and that's what makes them cool, but sort of quirky. I just like the simplicity of that one, but also the roughness at the same time is cool.
I like the Calder. I like the
There's a 6 Series race car that's one that
Calder.
that's the one.
Calder.
That's the other
Yeah,
type.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
my favorite. Yeah.
yeah.
the colors
that
are
one
so
fuck is
just-
hot. Yeah, it's a good one. That's a good one. I didn't like I don't know who did the most recent one that they did.
I know. Yeah.
It was a race car, I think, right? Was it the Z3?
Z4
race car?
I think so.
I didn't love it.
Yeah. I'm the same way.
Well, the M6 one they did, the GT car.
Yeah.
I wasn't. It just said fast on the one side. Compared to its predecessors, like,
Yeah. That M1 though, the Warhol one is the
It's
shit.
just timeless.
The Calder one was it? Was there a Liechtenstein one too?
There sure
the
was.
I didn't want to fuck up and say I think there is a Liechtenstein one.
I don't know
also.
the
Dots and
name of
everything.
the. I don't know the name of the artist that it's. I don't know if it's an M3, but it has all the colors that just strobe across the top.
Oh
of it.
yeah, that's
I love that one.
Oh fuck me. Jeff Koons.
Okay, that
I
would
believe
make
it's
sense.
Jeff Koons. I think.
Tom Ridings has the
Where it
same thing
looks
on
like he
his
drove
Porsche
through
that-
a wall of
Exactly.
paint
It's
cans.
so cool.
Yeah. I think that was the M3.
This is
Yeah,
one of the
Jeff
best.
Koons. Yes,
Oh,
that
nice.
one fucking
love
rocks.
that.
That's a badass. That was the one
E92.
when on Drive on NBC Sports, me, Spinelli, and Chris Harris raced the 25 hours of VIR. And we raced a shitbox E30, and this was our inspiration. So we
no
bought
way.
some like terrible paint, and we did this, and it actually looked like. Obviously not as good, but it was obvious
Fair
that was what we
representation.
were doing. Yeah. It looked kind of like it. Yeah. Oh, is this the whole list of art cars? Oh, cool. Yeah, go check this out. If you haven't seen BMWArtCarCollection.com. There we go. Fuck, that's a
so
great
cool.
angle.
That's
the
so
above
cool.
three-quarter, that looks
I've
so
never seen the
cool.
wing. I never saw the wing continuing it. That's so cool.
Dude, it's rad. And the fact that there's those splotches on the rear
Yeah, the
panels
yellow
and the front
splotches.
that interrupt it so perfectly with their cartoon black outlines, that's cool.
I always wanted to do this with like EL wire, the stuff they make that's like
Yeah.
a flat panel that lights up and just drive that around at night.
That'd be rad.
If you were to paint a BMW, what would it be?
Like what kind of BMW?
Yeah, what would you choose as a BMW art car canvas?
If I had carte blanche, it would either be a Z8 or I really like the M coupes based on the Z3.
Oh yeah, clown shoe.
There you go.
Yeah. Zach, will you browse that list if there is a Z? I don't think there's a Z8
recall.
art car.
Why would there be?
Well, I mean,
What I
there
love
could
those
be.
cars.
That's a good candidate. You've
Could
done
be.
some art cars.
I've done a lot of art cars.
Really?
Yes.
What was your favorite?
Each of them, the process was so different that that's kind of what makes them fun. But some of the more recent ones, I did one for Sharpie not too long ago, and I really liked that one because the process was fun.
What did you get to? Which one was it here? Can you see?
I don't even know if
Sharpie
it's on that
Mustang.
one. No, that was one of the earlier ones. I don't know. The
Pull
one
up pull up one of these Sharpie things. These are all Sharpies.
Yep.
yes.
This
How
is
long
the
does it
way.
take to fucking Sharpie a whole? Because when what we're looking at is a whole car that is done in Sharpie, but it looks like it's almost an engraving, where it's the level of density of artwork that you would see like engraving on a firearm.
Or a tribal tattoo or
Yeah.
something.
That makes
It's
sense.
dense, really dense art.
Unfortunately, I do really need to update my website. I've done 23 of these.
Fucking hey, how long does it take to Sharpie a sports car?
I'm really, really fast. So some of these cars, like I did one for Toyota, I've done one for Fiat, and one for Sharpie. I might have a weekend to do the whole car.
How sick to be sponsored by Sharpie though.
It was interesting.
But when they called you, or did they call you, or did
Yes.
you go to them?
No.
They were like, "I see what you're doing here." And
Yeah, it's
they were like,
collaboration.
we'd like you to do a car.
Sure.
And what are the? And do they offer decent amount of coin? You don't have to be
Surprisingly,
specific.
yeah. I'm
Decent?
What's really interesting about these types of jobs, especially to work with corporate, they'll already have a list of 5 other artists that they're going to call, right? So hopefully I'm top of the list.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
all I need to do is get on the phone with somebody and go, what do I got to tell you to just skip calling everybody else?
Yeah.
And usually it's turnaround time. Most artists that do this type of stuff do it for fun. They don't do it as a full-time job. So for someone to be like, I need to get on a plane and I need to produce this entire car in 2 days, I'm not saying I'm a superhero, but I don't have type of obligations. This is my real job. I don't have to take a break from my real job, find somebody to watch my kids or any of that stuff. This is what I do. So I always have space in my schedule to drop everything to go do something like this.
23 Sharpie cars.
Yeah.
So Sharpie goes, okay, you can do it in a weekend. Amazing. We're going to fly you to wherever the car is.
Yeah.
And we are going to provide you with how many Sharpies
That's a great
exactly?
question.
Oh, this
many
is a really
boxes?
fun one to answer because it depends on the car. So one like this Camaro, this has a lot more dense detail in it compared to some of the other ones.
Yeah, I mean the blacks here are very richly dense blacks. You're not seeing like pen
all
streaks.
filled in.
Yeah.
What's funny about that is the trick behind that is to do everything in a single pass. Because the markers they have chemicals in them that are solvents, the more passes you make, the more ink you remove. So get everything in a single pass, and it's more solid than it'll ever be.
Wow.
So does that just mean moving slowly and just go? Do you know the exact like flow rate of ink of a Sharpie?
Sharpie ink has a really good consistent flow rate to it. It's paint markers that are a little bit trickier, which
Right.
the later stuff I do with paint markers. The trick is using different size markers for what you're doing. You're filling a large area, use a large marker. Doing
Well,
a detail
that's
area,
a tattoo move.
it's a no-brainer. Why would you use a tiny little marker to fill in?
Have you ever
these
used
huge-
MS Paint? It works the same.
Right. Yeah. Why paint a room with a 1-inch
No, but
brush?
for
Exactly
real,
right.
how many Sharpies are we talking about? Ballpark.
So this one would be different than, say, a more recent one, because this is one of the oldest ones that I've ever done. This was done in 2010. So this one was probably 12 or 15 markers.
That's not a lot.
That's not
A more
that's
recent-
box of
a more
Sharpies.
I thought you were
One
going to say
box.
12 or 15 boxes of
Two.
markers.
Nah, a more recent car I could do in 2.
Two Sharpies?
Sure.
Fuck out of here.
Paint markers.
2 paint markers.
Yeah.
Like 2 like beast paint markers.
2 normal paint markers.
Really?
Yeah. The thing that makes the only reason that you ever have to switch out markers.
Very low amount of paint.
It doesn't seem
It doesn't
possible
take.
to me.
It doesn't take as well. Again, single
I
pass
do paint
every single
markers on
line.
the little tires on the Michelin
Yeah.
thing. I feel like I run out.
Well, it might be a cheaper marker.
Okay,
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Sure.
Quality of product, of
Yeah.
course.
Yeah, to some degree. It's also how you take care of the marker.
That's such a low number of markers.
Yeah, it used to take me a dozen Sharpies. Now it only takes me 2
2
Sharpies.
Sharpies? Hey, the improvement in efficiency.
Absolutely.
For a relatively small
Yeah.
amount of monetary savings.
Well, now I'm seeing why
You've really focused on something that's not that important.
Yeah, it's true.
I used to spend $28
Yeah.
on Sharpies.
Now it's
I
gotten it
now
down to
spend
6.
4.
It's progress. It's progress.
Of course,
It was
of course,
cutting
I
into
stay
my.
up for 3 days straight.
Yeah.
I drink 75 Red Bulls.
The number of Sharpies was just cutting into my profit margin so much. I had to dial it back.
Once
Holy
Sharpie started
fuck.
sponsoring you, it went down. I find that ironic.
So
actually.
would they also okay, we're going to give you a car. We're going to give you 12 to 15 Sharpies.
They,
and we're going to give you all the Red Bull that you could, all the coffee
Yeah.
and Red Bull that you could drink.
Yep.
And are you like Nakai? Do you need like a carton of Newports
I was gonna,
also?
is he the RWB guy? That's exactly what I was envisioning.
He's got a tour rider that's like Mariah Carey. That's
Yeah.
like, I would like a fresh toilet seat and one
Wow. It's
like-
carton of Newports.
And like Hot Pockets and there's weird shit on it.
Yeah, all the things you would need to stay up for 3 days.
no,
Cram session.
I'm an artist. I don't think they want to. They don't want to.
That's hilarious.
Honestly, the more challenging situation out of all of those was the one that I did for Fiat because it was for a TV commercial a handful of years ago for the Summer Olympics, and because it was produced by a production company, it was all done by SAG. So we had really specific work
Right.
hours.
Yeah, yeah.
Really specific
Union
days we can
gig.
work.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Wait, so not not just the vehicle itself. The act of painting it was for a commercial.
Yes.
Oh yeah. So now, that's got to cut into your fucking creative process.
It had more collaboration than I'm used to. Let's say.
Wow. For someone with no art training, you have a lot of media training.
Yeah.
That is that's a sentence right there. That's a fucking. Oh, wow.
Gold star.
That's like a Fernando Alonso level. It had more collaboration than I'm used to. These people were really annoying. Yeah. They didn't leave me alone for a second.
No, they hired me to do a job. The Fiat one was fascinating.
Your media training rules.
Well, because the Fiat one was the concept was write all the names of the countries that were participating in the Olympics on the car. So we decided to split it up into let's do half of the country's flags and then half of the country's names.
Okay, that's a cool concept. Yeah.
Split down into black, white, and 2 shades of gray. So it's 215
I see
countries.
some opportunities for problems here.
Lots of yes. So we split it up into half of them were going to be flags, half of them were going to be spelling of the country. This is a Fiat 124 Spider, not a big car to occupy.
Right.
2 days for the entire filming, and to take color photos of the flags and translate them in grayscale on the spot with markers. And ideally get it on the first try.
Yeah.
Because I think at the volume of, imagine 105-ish names per day. I think we ended up doing 2.5 days. So I think the way that they wanted to film it, I had to change my process a bit versus what I'm used to. Because they wanted to film it me going around the car. And so that meant starting in the middle of the hood and ending at the middle of the hood, so working around the car. which is not how I typically would do a job like this.
How do you typically go? Top down?
I
Panel
would
at a
actually.
time?
I'm a bit of a weirdo. I would do I would start an area kind of hollow and just jump around the entire car.
Wait,
Yeah, that's weird.
Wait,
That's not
say
how
that
I would
again.
do it.
You would start. You would just start with a drawing on each panel,
Sure.
and then expand from there and just bounce around.
So imagine, say, something like flags or country names. If you got 4 or 5 on each panel, you start to do the math backwards of how the space would be occupied. If you start in one spot and work your way and come back around, you're totally
yeah.
guessing at where you're going to land.
Oh, yeah.
And how much positive and negative space is
100%.
left.
Makes a
Yeah,
lot
you
of
get
sense.
to 3/4 of the way around. You got fucking nothing.
So we're starting to make flags a little bigger, starting to increase the
yeah.
overlap.
Yeah.
So that was a cool creative challenge, but but situations like that or doing them live at events, which I love doing in front of an audience, I think it's way more fun.
I bet.
But you have to control how you react to problems in a much different way. Because if you just start throwing shit, then everybody knows something has gone wrong. But if you just kind of, just
Right.
carry on.
Ride it out. You just got to ride it
Yeah,
out.
yeah. People don't know you're making mistakes
Yeah,
until
poker
you
face.
start doing
Music, same
exactly.
thing.
Until you start doing shit, and people are like, "Is Chris
That's
okay?"
very funny.
With these Sharpie cars, any of them, do you have a plan going in? Do you have an image idea, or do you just start freeforming and just
I
play
prefer,
the music?
yeah.
I was going to
Yeah.
say, did Sharpie give you a list of imagery?
That,
And go,
yeah.
No, thank
We'd
God.
really like you to include these 12, elements.
We're going to want to see that chisel tip.
Yeah, yes, from all angles. There was only a couple of cars that I was ever asked to do where I included really specific elements. Thankfully, most of the companies I've worked with have just been like, do what you do.
Wow.
Because honestly, the process is a lot better that way. I couldn't imagine doing a concept rendering for these types of things. And although, especially Sharpie or Fiat or even Toyota, when they asked, they really wanted to see more concept artwork at the beginning because they're spending a lot of money, so kind of gambling on what you're going to get. I see what the apprehension is. But if I had a complete roadmap to what I was going to do on a car, it would take so much longer than just doing it.
Right.
Yeah.
Also, to hit that mark.
Exactly.
You know, that's
But
crazy.
no requests for elements specifically?
And one of the Camaros that we looked at had
Yeah.
a few Banksy pieces in it, which was
Right.
really cool. The Cadillac has the gold Cadillac. That
Was
guy I
Banksy
did it
okay
for.
with that?
We'll never know.
It's the funny thing about Banksy. Wouldn't he have to reveal himself in order to sue people?
To make a complaint.
Is that the catch-22 of being Banksy?
Sure.
It is, right?
100%.
That's why people can just
Honestly-
knock off his shit
Well, maybe
and sell
Chris
it.
is allowed to make Banksy pieces.
Maybe Chris is
Also,
Banksy.
He's also
Secretly. It's true. It's true.
I think
It's
he's just big enough, right? I think he's culturally, phenomenon-wise, he's big enough
That you can rip off his shit and it's okay?
that it doesn't matter. Nobody will ever confuse it with Banksy.
with the
You know
real
what I mean?
piece, yeah. I don't think anyone's looking at what I'm doing going, is
He
that
doesn't
I
have an
would-
IP department,
Well,
that
I
kind
was just
of
curious if a corporation paid for it. That would
Yeah.
not
That's
that
a
Chris
really
should
good
give a
point.
shit that Sharpie's lawyers weren't like, whoa.
No,
Hang
that's a good
on.
point.
You're right. That
You know
would be a
what I mean?
different
Those
situation.
are the ones who raise the flags. Yeah, you're right.
Honestly,
As a corporate gig?
yeah,
No, you're
yeah,
right.
you wouldn't want to do that. But honestly, if I got a piece of paper in the mail that said you're fucking being sued by Banksy, that would be the coolest
frame
shit.
that
Yeah,
shit.
exactly. I'd be like, okay, this is kind
You
of
win.
cool.
Can I keep this?
yeah. Yeah.
Shred it and sell it
Do you
for $10
are you
million
and you're
bucks.
going on paint, right?
Usually, some of them I do clear coat afterwards.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of prep that goes into the entire process. But all the ones for corporate are done on top of vinyl wraps.
That's so fucking lame.
They don't want. Well, all these cars they had to pull off a lot somewhere
Right.
in order to be
Yeah,
a
they
part of
won't
the
be able to
process.
sell it again.
Exactly.
Oh,
Exactly.
oh, I
so
get it.
the
So the
process
car
is
disappears
just
at some point.
engineered.
It's not really
yeah.
even art.
It's all for the photo shoot.
That's I mean, I get it, but that's lame.
Agreed.
So it's a
Fully
fucking
agree.
waste.
It's
Put
not
that
cute.
car in the lobby somewhere.
Huh?
Put that car in a lobby somewhere.
Yeah, or sell it for charity,
Perfect.
or
Yeah, that's
you know what
another
I mean.
idea.
It's like it's just kind of lame. I understand why a company would do it, but it wouldn't affect their bottom line so much to have some kind of a follow up with the car.
Yeah.
Besides, all right,
It's done
peel
now.
the wrap and give
Yeah,
it back
exactly.
to Crevier.
Resell it for was that one of those? It looks like a Prius. So I mean, resell it for $30,000.
So it was the first.
Mira.
Yeah, the
But
Mirai.
what about if you've got a commission from a fucking client? They go paint, right?
Ideally, yeah.
Yeah.
I'll go based on budget. Depending on what somebody wants to spend is how much time we spend on it.
What is the range of something like that?
10 to 50,000.
Okay.
Depending on how much car.
Okay, so it's
So a
yeah,
school
it's
bus
it's a real
is a lot.
estate. It's a real
Yeah,
estate
ideally.
thing.
Yeah, exactly. Especially when you incorporate the paint process, because you've got chemical costs. You need to be in a paint shop to do it appropriately. None of these, I think, maybe one has been close to where I live, so it's always a fly and be in a hotel for a little while.
And you have to paint. You have to do the paint marker thing in a paint booth.
It's not necessary.
Okay,
but
but you're just talking about the clear coating.
Exactly.
Clear,
Right,
Exactly.
right. And if they're going to do that, is it standard? You know, let's just call it a fucking new car. Standard new car finish with clear coat. What do you prep it? Before?
Absolutely.
So
Oh,
what do
yeah.
you prep it with? You sand?
Yep, just like you would a normal paint job if you're going to airbrush or pinstripe anyways. Yeah, wet sand the entire car, mask it first before you do all the artwork so that way it's done. Because the clear won't stick if the car isn't prepped in the first place. The artwork is kind of whatever, but I think this is a mistake a lot of people make with these art cars is they get excited about doing it, and then they're like, we should preserve it and clear it. After the fact, you're just gambling. It's not going to stick. There's no way.
Oh, I see what you mean.
Yeah.
So well, could you expel film over it and
Absolutely.
get a lot of mileage out of doing it that way too?
You can, depending on the materials you use and how the film is applied. Because if the film is applied wet or it has like an alcohol solvent,
You might.
as long as you know what the finish process is, then you can pick your materials that you're going to do the artwork according to that. There's a right way to do pretty much every version.
What's the argument for using a Sharpie versus using a paint marker at this point?
The solvency, right?
Well,
The alcohol solvency.
permanency, speed.
So if you want
Solvency
it
is
to
not a bad way.
to be less permanent and be faster, basically.
Yeah, I would at that
Sharpie?
point. I'd probably say acrylic paint marker. Because then at least you get the opacity, you get really good paint flow. But a Sharpie paint marker you can remove with Windex.
Oh, I didn't know that. How about that?
You hear that, kids?
And man, does it look interesting as it's running down the car.
Is there any car that's like a super? I can picture like an H1 Hummer because it's got like rivets, or like a G-Wagon that's just like a fucking nightmare, right?
Oh, you mean to work around?
Yeah. What's like the worst car to work on?
Well, you did a Lambo, right? That's a lot of
I
ins and
did.
outs.
Yeah, that wasn't so bad. I don't think I've got pictures of that. You know what? Honestly, motorcycles, they're the hardest.
Oh,
This is the least amount of surface area to rest your hands on. And then you have to, ideally, I think you scale artwork to your parts. So the artwork naturally has to get a little bit tighter, but you have nowhere to put your hands. And to naturally drag your hand across something, cars are big open surfaces. That's easy.
How interesting. Yeah, you can't be a tripod on a motorcycle.
Yeah, I mean, you figure it out and you make it work, but it's not ideal.
The steady hand thing, is that pure practice or is that a natural talent?
I would say practice. I don't think talent seems not appropriate.
Well, I mean, I don't know. It's, you know.
I call him insanely talented, but he doesn't
nice of you
see
to say.
any of that. He's like, oh, I've just worked hard.
I guess because I've seen all the crappy stuff that I've done, so
Yeah.
I know the all the bad things I had to do to get to be decent.
Sure, that makes sense. But like, you know, when you see like one of those like Zen like videos of a guy doing like a 14-foot
Yeah.
fucking straight line pinstripe on a Suburban, you're like, well, that guy must have been born like that.
Right.
That's some fucking freak
You
show
know-
Or his
shit.
head is fried.
Yeah, I was about to say
To
those
be able
people.
to do that.
Yeah, those folks are very gifted, but try to have a conversation with them.
Right. There you go. 100%.
Yeah, they don't feel anything anymore. Oh, that guitar you did there, that's cool.
Thank you.
Do you
my
like
God.
painting other shit like that?
I do. I mean, there's so much that I like. Like, obviously, I like cars, but anything to me is a canvas. There's no wrong answer.
There's no. There's a really missed opportunity that you don't know how to use a tattoo gun.
I don't know that that's a missed opportunity per se.
Good point. It's a very good point.
You know what?
Someone who has a 3-row SUV has to drive everybody everywhere.
Yeah,
That's a good point.
I stopped getting tattoos as soon as everybody started getting them. I like to be on the other end of what everyone else is doing.
All right. Have you ever fucked with engraving? Because your style seems like it would really lend
Huge.
itself to engraving.
Agreed.
I haven't. I'm not saying that I wouldn't.
Yeah.
Chris is like, I got stuff to do. I'm good.
Yeah.
Well, no, I
I'm
mean
not-
these Sharpie cars, they
do.
really resemble like my old man is a shotgun enthusiast.
Oh, nice.
Like them crazy guns. You
Yeah.
know what
The
I mean?
old gunsmith etching. That's what you
Guns,
meant before.
yeah, gunsmithing
Yes.
engravings.
Yes,
yeah.
100% looks like
it's
that.
That's what that looks like.
All the scroll work
Yeah.
and everything.
Yeah, and it's all hand done at the high
Yeah.
end. So it's a similar talent.
I think something like
what's-
that's super cool.
What's really impressive is that you have your painting style. You know, here like cars with the light reflecting and everything, and they're very realistic. You know, not photorealistic because that's not the style. But then the stuff you do with the Sharpie cars and on the guitar is like you said, more engraving, more abstract, more just like, I mean, I don't know how you come up. You just see these shapes and you're just like, I just want the thing to flow like this. Do you try to like
totally make it up as I go?
You just do you try to make it accentuate the curve of a car in certain places, or
actually normally I try to avoid the shape of the car.
How does that work?
I might start with a couple of really broad lines where there's a body line to kind of pick some rigid areas. Same with on a small shape like a guitar. But I like an art car that kind of distorts the look of the vehicle a little bit, breaks it up. Obviously, with really, really dense artwork, that's going to happen naturally anyways. But I think the idea of like accentuating the flow or something, that's more like scallops or flames. That's it's a little too on the nose for me. I think doing something just totally offbeat makes it kind of cool.
That's cool.
Man, I want to have you do a car.
Let's do a car, man.
You want to do a Vespa?
I'll do anything.
My Vespa's pretty fun. I don't have
surface area on the front.
I don't have a car at the moment that is an appropriate vehicle for this type of thing.
Let's find someone with a car.
Well, I want it to be my car. But
You should buy a car.
I can't buy any cars. I can't buy any cars at the moment.
We got a good spot to film here.
I know. Well, yeah, we could. Of course, we could. I can provide a location, absolutely. But I see opportunity. So not like financial opportunity.
I wonder
just
if
like
any of your
to do-
customers, any of your clients want to have their car Sharpie.
Just surprise them.
Bill.
Be like, what? It comes off with
welcome,
Windex.
I'll send a
What?
newsletter. And we
You'll
now
be
offer
fine.
this service.
Yes, it's concierge.
I know you just said you don't like doing motorcycles, and then I offer you a Vespa.
No,
but a
it's-
Vespa's it's a little different
There's
from
more surface
motorcycles.
area.
It's big surface areas. It's not like whatever. But
I don't dislike
amazing.
motorcycles.
Yeah.
That's
I love
there's a lot of opportunity here, and I never got the painted art car that I always dreamed of. So maybe we should buy a BMW.
You need to do,
Get a
you
Z8.
need to do
Let's
a
just get a
giveaway.
Z8. Just get one.
Yeah.
No problem.
No,
you need
but
to
we
do
can
a
get a
giveaway of
clapped out
some
coupe.
sort.
Oh yeah, we could do one, and then I had talked. Who I talked to was Sean at Top Rank about doing a build, a Skyline build, where we would carefully select the parts that went on the car, drive it for a little bit, make videos of it, and then give it away.
Oh wow.
Oh, that's awesome.
We could maybe Sharpie it. There could be a Sharpie element to this as well.
There we go.
That could be on point. That could be fun.
I feel like that would lend itself to the
That could be fun.
Asian flair of a
Yeah,
Skyline.
and I have a budget for two. I think I have two Sharpies here.
I might have one in the car that's half used.
It's
For
practical.
spare.
It's basically done.
Sharpies are ready to go.
Basically,
You know, it'd be really cool if we could paint marker the Gunther Works model. I wonder if Peter
does that
would be
hurt
upset.
them? Yeah, I was
Why
about to
don't we-
ask.
Why
I
don't we
wonder
offer to paint a Gunther Works car? One of the
You
customers.
know, the Gunther Works. They have like a style person.
I know.
Did you meet that woman?
She was on the other side of the garage.
Oh, she
Remember
was-
the garage door? We
Yeah,
couldn't go on the other side of the garage door.
Yeah, when we were down there, she has a there's this.
Oh,
this-
no, I did
There's
meet
a
her.
beautiful like Eastern European
You're
or maybe
100% right.
French woman whose name is escaping me at this point. And she is their style person.
Nice.
So she works with the clients to choose an exterior paint, wheel, and interior material.
Ferrous.
Yeah.
That sounds like a cool job to have.
Yeah, she basically makes sure that the customers get what they want, but that the finished product doesn't come out looking all kinds of fucked up.
Yeah.
That's pretty much her gig.
That's fair.
And
You
it's
can have
not a
anything
bad
you want as long as it fits within these parameters where the whole car
That's
will
definitely
be
fair.
still a Gunther Works.
Well, I mean, yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they're trying to make sure their cars aren't looking wonky.
Yeah.
Green
which you
stitching
should
with brown
do.
leather, weird shit.
Have you seen there's a singer running around, and I met the owner, and he was cool as shit, but it was crazy. It was UCLA colored.
Oh.
The
yellow.
guy came up to Breakfast Club.
Yeah, Rich. You meet that guy?
Rich, yeah.
Very interesting guy.
Very interesting.
Yellow
It's not his
singer,
only singer.
blue interior.
Wow.
Not his only singer.
Not his only singer.
Wow.
And do you know what? I was driving the Countach when I saw him the other day. And you know what he said to me? I've got one of those. And I was like, you are a G.
Of course you do.
He's cool. No, he was
Damn.
very, very cool, that guy.
Yeah.
But that
Fascinating, too.
color is nuts. Yellow,
And the
blue.
brakes, yeah, everything is matched. Yeah.
Wow.
But see, I think you joked about painting a Gunther, but I don't think it's out of the
Possible.
question.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I don't think it's out of the question. I think maybe we could get a carbon body panel from them. Maybe something that was like a reject from the car, but would still look really cool if you put it on a
Could
wall.
still be a good
I'm
art
thinking
installation.
A ducktail,
Yeah.
Something
a
like
ducktail
that.
would be very nice.
I bet you they have some rejects laying around that they would donate. Peter's fucking cool. He would throw me something.
Nice.
I think you're right.
That'd be
a cool
fun.
idea.
I think you're right.
You see that guy selling the painted 911 tails for $30,000?
Oh, Jesus.
The whale tail project.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because of the why?
Dripping
I mean,
paint.
yeah. Did you see him?
It's art.
It's
the
it's
whale tail
dripping.
project.
It's a drip thing.
Like, in what way?
Like Zach will pull it
Okay.
up, but it's literally Porsche 930 whale tails.
Okay.
On stands, painted in
There you go.
iconic Porsche liveries,
I see.
but the style is such that the paint drips off the bottom. They made
Very pop art.
Very pop art.
Very pop art. Also, in not only in style, but in the fact that they're printing money.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Because these are quote limited, and it's like they're making like a couple of hundred of them, and they're $30K
Yeah.
each. Yeah, $30K, dude.
That is not your
They're printing
father's
it.
Chevy Bel Air sofa.
Now I will argue
No.
that it is
That
a
was
beautiful
pop art.
piece of art,
That
and
is
people
really
who
cool.
buy art, they're also selling these fucking NFTs for $7 million and whatever.
Someone actually put a question asking what you think of the NFT thing.
Oh,
if
should we
you,
get-
if you have a comment, Chris.
should we get-
I certainly do. I think it's weird as hell. I think time will tell. I don't think it's the Bitcoin thing that everybody thinks it's going to be, but I think all this stuff has a huge hype right on the nose, but it kind of lands where it lands. So I don't think the hype necessarily scales to it because it's just started. Like, let
For those
it
who
be.
have been off the internet for the last couple of months, an NFT is a non-fungible token, and the long and short of it is it's basically a blockchain verified proof of ownership of a piece of digital media. So that could be artwork, it could be a video, it could be a social media post. And so it pretty much that's really fucking all it is.
I do think it's really cool that it does create a marketplace for artwork that is created digitally because that really hasn't existed in an organic way before.
That's true.
How that scales to value is where it remains to be seen.
Right. Because, like, Jack Dorsey's first tweet. I understand as a cultural significance,
Yeah.
the founder of Twitter's first tweet is something. But what does owning it fucking mean? What do you... All right, I own it.
It doesn't mean anything.
Well, now what? It's not like you're going to... I could print it out and hang it on
Yeah,
my wall
exactly.
and get 100% of the satisfaction of...
It's
Now what?
notoriety. It's saying
Yeah.
I own it.
But who the fuck
what
is
does that
going
do?
through the
Yeah, it's
record?
not real.
Who's reading through the NFT record and be like, oh,
Like, yeah.
well, fucking Jay Ryan, it turns out, owns Jack Dorsey's first tweet. Did you know that?
That's right.
Who gives a fuck?
Maybe one day when there's like an NFT art gallery, you can figure out how to make
Now, see, that would... Now, yeah, where it's just a bunch of
We're just
fucking
walking by
LCDs.
exactly.
Literally just keep it. A video wall.
Honey, we could have seen this at home, I think.
Yeah, I have this on my phone.
It's on YouTube. I have to watch this art piece with ads, but it's fine. It's fine.
Well, that's the funny thing is there's like a Banksy painting that was about destroying media, and someone
Yeah.
bought it at an auction,
And it got
took
destroyed.
a high def photo of it, then lit it on fire and destroyed it, and they're like,
Yeah.
now it only exists as an NFT. But it's like, but if you look it up on the internet, you can find a photo of it from before, and you can see it. I mean, it's not the same.
Didn't he
but
try
it's
that
like
once
same.
with the shredder thing?
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Self-shredding.
Somebody
amazing.
bought it $10 million
Self-shredding.
and then it
But
shredded
that's
itself.
still physical in the end. Unless
Correct.
somebody is going to burn a piece
Right,
like that
right.
and then sell you the ashes, that's kind of interesting.
That's a good point, though. These are the
Carbon
ashes.
dated to exactly May 24th, 2017.
Yeah, there's something real about that.
Yeah, it's kind of strange, isn't it?
It's a weird time to be alive.
But your
Yeah.
buddy Elon sent his first car out to space. I mean, is it like...
But they don't do marketing. let me send my car to space
That's not
for
marketing.
the lulls. But no, my company does no marketing whatsoever.
the company is marketing.
It's exclusively
It's
marketing.
mostly marketing.
It's one of their biggest
my
exports.
God.
It's marketing.
Right.
So anyway, I think you could have a thematic, serialized sort of pieces on this thing with body panels that could be very fucking cool and very, very lucrative for you. Just a little
I
suggestion.
think it's an interesting
Never know.
idea.
A little suggestion.
Yeah.
Inject a little capitalism into your
I think
life.
it takes that. It's always the car community is a tricky set of people to sell things to. That's not a car.
Huh. Yeah, like car adjacent shit.
Yeah,
yeah.
memorabilia, because you have to be somebody that has to have a good garage or a man cave in order to even have a place to use it or value it. Most people have families and wives that kind of keep them in check to some degree as far as that type of stuff. But there's only certain segments of car collector that even have the space in their life for, even if something like that was free, you kind of go, okay, where do I put this in my studio apartment?
You are 100% right. I had a kid from Art Center recently email me. And, you know, I don't know if you spent any time at Art Center,
I'm
but
not.
these are, you fucking gotta go.
It looks cool.
Even just to their main lobby where they display the shit that the kids are designing,
Nice.
it's extraordinary.
That's cool.
And
The
this
campus is gorgeous.
guy basically wanted to give me his senior thesis project,
Whoa.
which was a 4 or 5 foot long, like, concept Lamborghini
sounds
that was
badass.
just, it came in its own, like, rolling stand. I was like, I don't have any room for this thing. I'd love to have
A
this.
model.
Man.
There's a big model.
Yeah, it was
Holy
like his
crap.
senior thesis. It was
That's
like
awesome.
4 or 5 times the size of this. It was like a 1/5
1/6 or
scale
something,
or
yeah.
1/6 scale. And it seemed a great idea, but like you said, I just
Where do you
don't
put
have
stuff
anywhere
like
to put
that?
shit like that.
It's
Yeah.
cool, but it goes in storage.
I could have fucking hung it from the ceiling like the Spirit
true.
of St. Louis, maybe.
The Air and Space Museum.
Yeah,
Dude, I mean, I don't know if you ever go to New York. You go to Classic Car Club. You ever been there?
I'm not.
I recommend if you're in New York to go visit. They've hung a race car on the wall.
Oh wow,
They did?
They hung an LMP car on the wall.
A
It was
real
pretty
one?
cool. Yeah,
Not
real.
just a shell.
No. Well, it didn't have an engine in
Sure,
it, but
sure.
yeah, it was a whole car.
That's awesome.
Damn.
Pretty cool. Yeah, they have the space for things like that. I could hang a
Yeah,
go-kart
you don't have
on
any
this.
space here.
Well, we were discussing where to put this beautiful painting that Chris made. And we think right on the stairs here, but we got to get one of them contraptions to have a ladder sideways on the stairs. That's,
Gotcha.
that's
A
the
specialized
holdback.
ladder.
That's the holdback right now. Let's go to the people. We have some people, right? A lot of people. Oh, we got some people.
So the ones in bold were specifically for Chris.
Okay. Oh, Adrian was the NFT one.
correct.
We can Direct. Nick says, I'm currently in the collision industry. The atmosphere is very much get out as soon as you can. Was that the environment while you were in collision, and what made you get out?
Wow, what a fantastic question. I think it's uniformly get out while you can. I think, and that's not to crap on the collision industry, it is a necessary thing that people need overall. But I wouldn't say people are necessarily passionate about fixing cars in that very sort of binary way. But if you have an artistic want, being in the collision industry is a trap. Most of the people that you see there are lifetimers, and there's nothing wrong with that. But it's people who get in there and they stay in there. So it's certainly not a very overall uplifting and nurturing experience, let's say, for people that want to do more. That industry is so chock full of old people that just want to hold you down. It's so weird.
Oh, no.
It's really toxic.
That's a bummer.
Wow.
That's industry-wide?
Unfortunately, yes.
Wow.
And,
What a bummer.
and honestly, it bleeds right into the custom parts of the industry as well. Doesn't matter if you're building hot rods or fixing Camrys. It's pretty toxic overall.
Wow.
Is that
That's a
because
bummer.
they want to keep you as an asset to keep making the thing the way they made it and just stay that course? And they're like, don't get creative. That's not our business.
I mean, it's especially if you're a younger person in the industry, it's definitely more of a sense of stay in your own lane. Like they don't want, it's not overall true. I'm generalizing, but young people coming in that are excited about working on cars. It's the first goal is to like pretty much crush that.
Sounds like England. That's how I hear them
Get with the
describe
program.
basically all of English society.
Get with the program.
Yeah. Oh, you're doing well? Don't worry, it won't last.
Yeah.
Lower your.
That's right.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. It's not like it is mostly industry wide there, and there are shops that do it like they are the best versions of the good parts of the industry, but they are so far and few between. Most shops are a revolving door. People want to get in and out as fast as they can. The person you just fired is the worst guy that's ever worked for you. The new guy is the best guy we're ever going to hire.
What is where does that attitude come from? Because to me, it seems like this is an industry that
Because
will
they
never go
leave
anywhere.
on bad terms.
I know. Believe me, I was that person. Every job I ever left, I was just like, burn this place down. This is the.
It seems like the collision industry, though, will never go anywhere, even with self-driving cars and stuff. Or at least it's not going
It's-
anywhere
it's
for a
im-
while.
it's
And
important.
Are you
not
kidding
going
me?
down,
The
it's gonna go
Tesla
up.
fucking repair shop is the shop.
See, what I'm
Really?
saying?
Dude, do you know how many people are crashing their Teslas into things?
So
The place in West LA, dude, that place is hilariously overflowing with Teslas. Whoa. Yeah. And their parts supply chain is horrific.
Oh.
So we had a customer, we had to do body work on a Tesla, and it was a very small amount of body work, and it took a fucking eternity.
That
it
sounds
took
like
so
all
long,
repairs.
I forgot the car was at the body shop.
Oh, my God.
And they called me, I'm like, who? Oh, fuck, the Model 3? Oh, I like completely forgot about it.
Nah.
For the record, I happen to love my body shop.
but you see what I mean?
Shout out
It's-
to Beverly Coachcraft.
It's
I
not
like
going
that.
There are good
anywhere.
ones out there. There really are. But those are the ones that you're like, I'm only ever going to take my cars here. I'm only going to recommend people take them here because there's more bad ones than good ones.
Yeah.
So it gives
And
the
I
whole
deal with,
industry
like,
a bad
one-
vibe.
I deal with one person there.
That's
the one person
really
I
helpful.
deal
Makes a
with
difference.
is the shit.
Yeah, the more corporate and the more bureaucratic the collision industry is, because there's plenty of shops that are like chains, the worse it is.
Yeah,
Oh,
they
yeah.
seem like it's a mom and pop, but it's actually
yeah,
part
exactly.
of a
The flow is good, but the attitude's
yeah.
We
worse.
thought Bob's Discount Furniture. Look at this guy. We want to. Oh, look
Yeah.
at. There's a Bob's in every fucking town, in every state, and they're all owned by the same company.
Yeah, I used
Hilarious.
to do work for a brand like that, Carpet One.
Same
Carpet
thing.
One was the same thing, yeah. Remember when Carpet One changed their logo? If you do, you're a fucking nerd. Because I helped design it.
No,
in
for me,
2004.
Wow.
Yay. In a job
Good
that
time.
It was a
thankfully
rolled
I'm
up
not
carpet
doing
that looked like a
anymore.
giant blunt.
You made it look more like a wave. John says, Chris, I told you you'd make it here. You're here. You're in the room.
I made it. This is it. Peak
Mr.
of success.
Mr. C says, oh, do an SSR, a Chevy SSR, the pickup truck.
For a Sharpie.
The car.
Because it's kind of a hot rod throwback car. Is that the idea? I hate that thing.
Those two styles
There's
don't
a
go together
convertible
at all.
one, right? Is it a
I feel
convertible?
like
It's a hardtop convertible.
Yeah, they
Hardtop
can be.
convertible.
Yeah.
I thought we were at peak nostalgia now, but I forgot about that car. That might have been one of the that was the beginning of the end, I think.
Do you remember it?
It was
yeah.
like
Saw that
the,
engine?
or the end of the beginning, depending on how you
Right,
want to look
yeah.
at it.
You if you wanna put those cars into a bucket. It's cars that are inexplicably expensive to buy on the used market today. It's the same dozen
that really?
people. Yeah, the Hummer H2, the Subaru Baja, and the Chevy SSR are like. It costs fucking how much to get one
I
of those?
can't wait till SSRs hit. What's that? Freaking one of the fucking sales website where Bring a Trailer.
Oh,
Soon
dude,
as-
when they go back up.
Oh my god. Well, it'll be because they're on Bring a Trailer that they'll
There's
go
one
up.
on Cars and Bids, I think, right now.
Oh, nice.
I think. There's a Brat.
I
Yeah.
loved the Brat as a kid.
I
The
love
back-
these too.
backwards
I was talking
facing
about.
seats.
I was talking about the Baja. Did I
Oh,
say
Baja,
Brat?
sorry. No,
the
no, you
Baja
said
is
Baja.
the Outback
That's
pickup
kinda
truck.
cool.
Which, if you go try to find one of them, they're still like $15,000
For sure.
What?
It still has the little light bar and stuff,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, I love that one.
Those are like
There it is,
some-
yeah.
Look, sold for
$18,000?
$18K.
For
Dude,
why?
$18K. That's this month.
For
that's not
why?
a long time ago.
It's probably got 100,000 miles on it.
It probably does.
At
Can you
least.
pull that up, Zach? How many miles
it's-
are on
it's
that?
loading, yeah.
Oh, okay. Sorry. I told you 100,000 miles. Jay Ryan.
Very nice, very nice.
I'm telling you, these people are like some from my cold dead hands,
Yeah.
Charlton Heston.
No, you're right.
Fucking
I didn't know
people.
that.
Yeah.
And the SST fits into the same category.
The SSR, yeah. It's fucking. See, these are granola eating boomers, and the ones for the SSR are assault rifle collecting boomers. Different genre
Right.
of boomer, but same age group.
Are they Corvette people who just have to have a truck? Is that what it is?
Well, one wears Tommy Bahama and one wears Patagonia. I think.
Do the jean shorts get longer or shorter?
Yeah,
The Baja is such a weird looking thing. It's like you really couldn't decide what you wanted to drive.
they love.
It's like
these
kind of a
things.
Ute, but the bed's too small to be a
No,
Ute.
the Brat was the same thing.
It's funky. The
I
Brat
mean,
was
You
like
couldn't throw
just-
anything in the back of a Brat except your two friends.
And people, yeah, it was a carnival ride that they somehow sold here. I think because of the chicken tax.
I don't even think it had seatbelts.
that's
The
awesome.
Baja,
It didn't-
it's like a 300x premium versus the Outback.
That's ridiculous. It's less car.
That's the last car.
Miguel Flores, shout out to Chris. How do you think you compare to Chip Foose? I've been a big
Oh,
fan.
I
for years.
don't compare it to Chip Foose. If I'm cool, it's because of people like Chip Foose who do cool stuff, and I get to learn from by watching. I grew up watching Overhaul, and so my favorite part of the show was watching Chip Foose draw
drive.
for 1 second. So yeah, it's because of people like him that I probably even have a job.
Have you met Chip?
I have.
He is a nice guy, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's cool.
Damn nice.
Dude,
Yeah.
Has he seen your drawing?
I don't know. He actually just started following me on Instagram.
Oh, so
Oh, dude, that's
there you
awesome.
go. That's a good one.
I would say he's seen your drawings.
Yeah.
Maybe.
He has a show on Haggerty also that's like he like redraws
Yeah,
and
yeah.
kind of redesigns cars that have been
Yeah.
made. It's pretty cool to see what he would do.
It's interesting his take on stuff because his background is different. So his take on redesign isn't necessarily like hot roddy, but it's from an educated background that's from the before time, I would say. Plus experience. I think young people have a different idea of how we would redesign something today in different weird, stupid angles and boxes and lines and straight edge rulers. It just doesn't really compute.
Well, you'd make it a crossover first. I mean, that's
well,
right.
first,
First, we're gonna get a crossover. Then we're gonna make it a coupe again.
and then
right.
You guys don't understand how this is gonna work. And they're like, "What are you fucking talking about?" And then they're like, "You know what? You were fucking right, and I don't like it."
and we did the marketing and the test audiences, and everybody said they want a hardtop convertible.
Yeah.
We want everything. That's what we want. We want a dessert that's also a breakfast.
we also want
That's what muffins
16-inch
are.
wheels.
But think about that SSR for a second. I think for some reason, I'm picturing Sharpie on a car. It's got to work better on an angular car than a roundy, bubbly kind of car.
I think if you start with the idea that a Sharpie art car is mostly a modern graffiti car to begin with, then the more aggressive the car is to start with, the better it accentuates the whole process. Something that's smooth like when the new Beetle came out type of smooth, you kind of like, I don't feel like this has the right presence for this type of aggressive look.
Yeah.
The idea is your art is so street-like, like you want the car to be a little...
At least to some degree.
You know what we should introduce him to? Radford, Jensen, and Ant.
Oh, yeah.
I bet they'd be probably be down with this kind of thing.
Yeah, for sure.
Let's do it.
Some bespoke
Some
work.
bespoke coach building shit.
Yeah, can you make any of that look traditional?
Pinstripe Jensen's cup holder. That's
Yes.
it. Or not pinstripe, but Sharpie it.
Because
Poole
Ant won't
says-
make it.
I don't know about this one. Maybe Jay does. Do you know if right-hand drive air-cooled 911 prices are significantly different than left-hand drive? I always assumed they're like
they're right,
I'd
but you
say
got to import
GTR
them.
where it doesn't matter.
Yeah, you got to import them.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a couple guys who've got them here.
But wait, hang on. This
Magnus just had one
person
for
is
sale.
making he's making a connection that I don't think is real. I assume they're like GTR where it doesn't matter. If he's talking about Skylines, there's no such thing as a left-hand drive Skyline. If you want a Skyline, you are forced to deal with right-hand drive.
Yeah, they didn't sell it here.
So what he should be, or Richard should be, or not Richard, whoever that was you just said. What they should be comparing it to is like left-hand drive and right-hand drive versions of like Supras and NSXs and stuff that where you can buy both. What is the premium?
I see what you're
exists.
saying. Yeah.
Well, is the premium just whichever one they made fewer of? That's the one that's gonna be
No,
more
the
expensive.
premium is to be convenient to drive in your own country.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes
you
a lot
want
of
to drive
sense.
on the right side of the car for your country where available. So in Supraland, just based on what I know from Sean, the prices of right-hand drive Supras are certainly well up, but they are 50% or 40% cheaper than the equivalent left-hand drive Supra.
But it's like owning a Quark because they're available in a couple different countries. You have the option of buying, like you said, you have to import it. But people want something because it's obtuse. It's a right-hand drive, so it's odd. Does that make it more valuable? Strangely?
No, it doesn't.
That one guy's got the IROC one that drives around all the time, and it's cool to look at, but nobody wants it,
Yeah, I agree. I agree with Chris in terms of it being a fun quirk. I've owned several right-hand drive cars, and I think that driving on the other side of the car is a fun way to make a trip to the grocery store a little more interesting.
Yeah.
Isn't your van right-hand drive?
Yeah, Delica. I have a
nice.
Delica. Yeah. And I've had a Skyline, and it totally does. But I also own an air-cooled 911, and I would not rather drive that. I don't need that to be on the other side to be more interesting, and I certainly wouldn't pay a premium for that experience.
Yeah.
Yeah, a premium to relearn how to drive a car. Sounds great.
Richard says $100,000 or less, one car with usable back seats for a kid to do it all in Los Angeles.
Brand new car?
How big of a back seat?
For a kid, it says.
Taycan.
Taycan. Ooh, Taycan is a very good choice if you own a home, if you have a place to charge it.
Oh, very good
That's
point.
what I mean.
Very
place
good
to charge
point.
it.
Good point.
If you've got somewhere to charge it, the Taycan.
The rear-wheel drive Taycan.
Get the one, get the base one, and then option it up to $99,999
with all the shit
with
you like.
awesomeness.
Yep.
Same thing with a Macan. Option it up to $99,900.
Macan Turbo
Yeah.
with all the goodies is the other way to be.
That would be
for
under
sure.
$100K?
Well, not all the goodies. A Macan Turbo with most of the goodies.
What do they start at?
85.
Oh, okay. Yeah, from most of the way there.
But you can get ceramic brakes, which you don't
Right,
want.
right.
But like you do want like the awesome seats, and
That
you
makes
might
sense.
want just some other little things.
That makes
But
sense.
yeah. You don't need to
Gotcha.
go crazy.
I thought they started higher, I guess.
No.
The Macan's the baby one.
Macans are pretty. Macans are kind of reasonable.
Oh,
You get a
okay.
lot for your money.
Nice.
You can lease a Macan for like $600.
Yeah.
They're pretty
wow.
badass.
And you don't need to get the
Seriously.
turbo. If you're not like gonna mob it in the canyons, if you're just gonna daily it, you get the S, and then you get the Cobb tune, and you're
done.
You're already there.
as fast as the turbo below 4,500 RPM, which is in town and driving around, it's the same.
Is the Macan turbo anyways like the 911s are in the same
yes,
way? Or okay.
But the base is a 2-liter turbo.
Okay, gotcha.
GTI or Golf R engine, basically. Then the S and the GTS are 3-liter V6 twin turbo.
Holy shit.
And then the turbo is a 3.6 or 3.8 liter.
I think it might have changed, but I thought it
I
was
think it might have
3.6.
changed from 3.6 to maybe 3
Could be.
something else, and I don't want to fuck it up.
It's a big jump from
it
the
went
S
to
to the
2.9.
turbo.
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
it went down. It went down in displacement. It went from 3.0 to 2.9.
Oh, and it's a V6. Right,
Yeah,
right, right,
it's a
right,
6.
right,
Yeah.
right.
It was a
435. That's a lot of power, though.
Oh no, 3.0.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's-
it's 2.9.
Plenty of power.
Yeah.
Over 400 foot-pounds of torque.
Oh yeah, the fucking thing boogies.
Yeah.
They're fast.
Damn.
Yeah. We recommend that. What's next, Zach? I saw there was a couple more. Joe Mangini, what do you think of the Mark 6 Jetta TDI as a daily driver? Mark 6, that's a cheating Jetta, right? Cheater Jetta,
What counts as a cheater Jetta?
like the mission scandal ones, right? The recalled ones.
Oh,
Isn't
the
that one of
TDI.
them?
Yeah.
Mark
You're
6
right.
Jetta TDI. That's
Yeah,
what
you're
that
right.
is, right?
You're right.
I don't know my marks. I think that's what that is.
No, the cheating Jetta was fair. I called it the lying Jetta.
The lying Jetta, right? Yeah.
But yeah.
They're lovely. You do a lot of miles.
They were great then.
They were great then,
killer.
yeah.
Everyone loved it until the scandal.
And I don't know if it's
Don't
exactly.
you remember that? Everyone was like, there was commercials about how
Everyone
people
loved
their
Coca-Cola
car.
until they found out it was cocaine. Actually, they still love Coca-Cola. But yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think they were nice cars, and I think if and they come with super long warranties now.
Yeah.
Wasn't that part of the deal?
Yeah.
They do. The
They
thing I
do.
didn't like about that generation, though, I remember I drove a Passat to Santa Cruz and back on one tank of diesel. I was like, this is amazing. And it turns out it was for a reason. Is they started pulling a lot of the sound deadening out of the car, and that's when I feel like the car started getting a little bit cheaper inside. So there's a lot more like road noise than I was expecting from Volkswagen product.
Interesting.
So I think the ones before that and maybe 2 generations after just feel more solid and quieter.
Interesting.
Sure. Counterpoint, Zach. Last question, $50,000 challenge. Although Zach will scour for the leftovers, possibly in the other window. Most fun in the back roads and autocross haul a family of 5 and be nice enough to take the wife out in. Well, that's a Golf R, sir. You're describing a Golf R, right?
Yeah, I mean, there are other cars. The RS3, I would say, maybe for $50,000.
You're not getting one new. You're talking. That's a used car now.
Yeah.
Used RS3.
Is
Sure.
this new?
I mean, how else will we know?
Yeah, I guess so.
How else will we know? Like, right? Maybe you can
Golf
get.
R is, though. It is the car.
If you
to
want
do
to
it.
go,
so good.
Yeah,
It's just car
so
to do it
good.
all.
if you want to expand to used, you can go into V8 M3s, like used M3s for sure.
Yeah.
Used.
I never loved my V8 M3 as much as other people did.
Would
No?
50K
I
get
liked
you
I had a
the-
tuned 335 as well, which I liked more because
wow.
it was lighter and far more nimble. And it was more torquey because of the
Because of the
tune.
turbos,
yeah,
right,
Exactly.
yeah.
So like driving around, it was way faster. On the track, the M3 would demolish it.
Right.
But driving around, I really enjoyed that.
Will
so.
50K get you the V10 generation M5?
Oh yes, it
Yeah.
will. It will. But if you got to find a manual, because that SMG is a shitbox.
Oh, really?
And you're gonna fix it.
horrible.
You're
Oh,
gonna
no.
have to fix it.
So
I had
finding
a
out they
customer
might-
that had like a really, really nice M6 with the V10 that I hadn't driven one in 10 years,
Oh,
12
wow.
years, and I drove it because he donated it to the Peterson.
Oh, my
He wanted
God.
the tax deduction. He
Okay.
donates it to Peterson, and I don't know what they're doing with it, but they've got it. So I drove it from here to the Peterson, and that gearbox is even worse than I remember it being. It was a shit pile.
It was terrible in the M3s. I think it was the same box.
I'd love to pull that engine out and put it into fucking anything else. I mean,
a Formula One car, perhaps?
did someone fit one in an E46? Someone
Yeah. What?
didn't someone fit a V10 in the E46?
Yeah, and they made a drift car out of it. It's sweet.
I drove an E46 that had the an M5's V8, an E39 M5 V8 in it. That was badass.
I've driven one of those as well.
It was nasty.
Did you ever get a chance to drive the one that's the old 6 Series on the E39 chassis? It's an E39 chassis with it's
an
one
old
of the best looking
M6
car ever. Yeah,
that's awesome.
I forget what the generation was.
Yeah,
of
the
that
shark
body.
nose. A shark nose M6.
100%.
Gotcha.
But it's on the running gear and the chassis
there we go.
of the E39 M5.
Okay, so someone did build a right-hand drive E46
Worth
with
more
the fucking
already.
V10.
Yeah, that's right.
Good for them. Yummy. I bet that would be delightful.
That looks fun.
That would be fucking good. What do you drive, Chris? What's your car?
I've got
Other than that Roadster,
The Roadster's my
Volkswagen.
daily. I've got
That's hilarious.
got a 996 C4S.
Oh, cool. That's a good choice.
I love that car.
Yo, that guy was just mobbing on the track there. Whatever we just
On
showed
Nürburgring, yeah.
on Nürburgring, this dude is mobbing. That's fucking cool as hell. And you rolled up in a GTI.
It's my wife's car.
I see.
So I was telling
It's a
your
good wife's
guy
car.
downstairs, I was like, in order to get somewhere on time reliably, you tend to trade cars with the wife.
It's hilarious. You were so unused to it that you were 45 minutes early for the show.
You know, I'm better safe
That's
than
how
sorry.
fucking prepared
I
he
got your
was to
text.
be.
I had no idea.
Yeah.
broken
You know
down.
what? Yeah, yeah, you have no idea. Yeah, I guess I'm just used to pouring oil out on the side of the road and having a wrench on things. Yeah, normally taking the Roadster, or I've had a bunch of Corvairs and I've had a bunch of old Buicks. Normally it's like tack
Jesus,
2 or 3
glutton
hours.
for punishment.
Corvairs, old Buicks.
There's a couple of very cool Corvairs that run around.
They're such awesome cars, but you just have to keep pouring things into them. I just keep a toolkit in the car at all time. And they tend to have an effect on how accurate my time frame is and what I smell like when I get there. So,
Yeah.
better safe than sorry.
100%. Donnie's working on my car right now. He's bringing it back on Tuesday, and he just replaced all the fuel vapor hoses.
On
on my Ferrari.
How do you like it?
The Ferrari?
Yes.
It's the fucking best thing in the world.
Good for you,
It
man.
rules.
Good for you.
It's the second best. The Lamborghini is the best thing in the
Okay.
world, which I drove yesterday.
Nice.
This is the second best thing in the world. Thank you again
They
for
look-
coming to move the barrier.
Sure, they looked great. Yours and Seinfeld's together looked off. A lot
Was
of good
that-
pictures yesterday.
Yeah.
I didn't confirm. Was that the last 356 convertible ever made?
I think so.
Yeah.
The fork. It's a 4-cam in the.
It was
Dolphin Gray or
Seinfeld
whatever that's called.
rolls up in a 65, which is the only year they made both the 356 and the 911.
No shit.
And 356 Carrera Cabriolet
Yep.
in Dolphin Gray, which I think was the last convertible 356 ever made.
And I might have the Dolphin
Damn.
Gray wrong. But
No,
it
it's
was
Dolphin Gray.
Oh, it is Dolphin Gray.
Dolphin
Okay,
Gray.
Yeah.
It's different than who else uses it. Audi has a Dolphin Gray modern color that's just like regular ass
Dark
gray.
gray, yeah.
yeah. That's not that.
Shiny primer.
This looked like a porcelain.
It's perfect.
That's
It
interesting.
was lighter than chalk.
I saw pictures of it.
Fucking pretty car.
That's interesting.
But we got
Him and Spike
when he
rolling
left.
together.
I left a little bit after him, and I fucking blasted by them. I blasted by them at like the top of second in the Countach, and I saw his head go. Woof.
That's awesome.
Do you do commissions?
I do. I'm a little bit picky about what I agree to do because people can be a pain in the ass, but I do.
But like drawing, painting,
Would you
and
draw
cars.
my dog?
No. Well, what kind of dog?
Will you Sharpie the dog, actually? We'll shave it.
We'll get PETA involved. We'll get them to sponsor it.
Oh, bro, will you,
have to wrap
will
it
you
first.
fucking shape me up?
There
Can
you
you work?
go.
Can you work
man.
with a Brio Beardscape?
Get all those little-
I hear a commercial.
No, dude. Is Instagram the best way for people to hit you up?
Definitely, and that's where I post the most regularly because
there you
that's
go.
where we have the largest audience. So yeah, definitely.
Yeah, go follow Pinstripe_Chris, and if you want to commission a piece, whether it's a car or a painting, I can't
Or a pet
recommend
portrait?
the painting highly enough. Yeah, dude, the piece he just did of my car is extremely badass.
Thank you.
I can't wait to figure out how to hang that above a stairwell. We're gonna need some hardware for that. But
You know,
it's,
that's the trick with big artwork. You kind of go, this looks really cool, big, and then who do you sell this shit to? Like, who's got
Dude,
walls
did you
big
see that
enough?
6-foot thing Larry Chen gave me?
Yeah,
Larry
that's
Chen gave me the
awesome.
most non-gift ever. Here's the biggest print ever. It's gonna be $2,000 to frame
Good
it.
luck.
Enjoy. Yeah.
I saw him at at the Grid Life thing last week, and he talked about that. He's like, I feel bad. I got to do something for him.
No. I give him shit, but it's bad funny. I don't care. I love that
It's
piece.
really awesome.
There's nothing that would look better on that wall than that print. It looks rad.
It does.
But I can't help but giving him shit because it's really funny.
Zach and I were talking last week. That picture looks bigger. It looks better bigger.
Yeah.
It genuinely looks better large
You need to
format
be able
like
to see
that.
it like that. Yeah.
Dude, that's like 400 megapixels. If you're gonna shoot a 30 frame stitch, why print it a normal size?
That's a good point.
What has that gotten you?
Yeah, I just keep wanting to walk up to it and pinch zoom. You know what I mean? It's just like crazy detail.
Have you ever seen a baby do that? Do you have
Because
any
they don't know otherwise, right?
Yeah. My
that's terrifying.
They go to a
yeah, I
picture.
have my niece and nephew. You ever see them pinch to zoom a magazine or something?
No.
You're like, oh,
They're like,
fuck,
it's
we're
broken.
So, yeah,
This
we're
one's
so
broken.
fucked. Yeah, it's not good.
To zoom a magazine.
Yeah.
Yeah. Still living in
Or
the
an
future.
adult. You ever seen an adult do
I
it?
do it.
No.
I do it.
I caught Hannah doing it.
If you ever
I caught
look
Hannah,
at something-
Hannah did it. Yeah, I caught it.
Tries to
Really
highlight text
interesting.
on book.
Yeah.
That's
I can't look up this word.
Thanks for coming in, Chris.
Dude,
it was
thanks
nice
for the
meeting
invite.
you.
I really
This is a good
appreciate
show. Yeah. Jay, anything to promote? Late Night Playset podcast?
Please follow Porsche Life and watch Late Night Playset.
Porsche Life 111.
111.
On Instagram.
Thank you.
It's Jay. It's the one with the yellow car on it.
That's right. That's freshly clean thanks to Westside Collector Car Stores.
Oh yeah, man. Jay was like gonna not ever wash that car again,
noticed.
and then we just like took his keys and washed it.
Yep.
And now it's
So now it's becoming a
now he's
regular
like, can you come down every week?
That's right.
Thanks for listening, folks. On Friday at 3 p.m. Pacific, Johnny Lieberman,
Nice.
a.k.a. Johnny the Jew, a.k.a. Johnny the Tripod, because
What?
apparently he's
Wow.
now... Well, no, because he's... So here's how the story goes.
Tell it
the
faster.
way Johnny will tell it. He's now the third host of Spike's Car Radio
Yes.
podcast. The way Spike will tell it, he was like, "Oh, you don't have a home, so like consider this podcast your home." And then Johnny changed his driver's license address to Spike's
That's
Car
right.
Radio.
Yeah. You're not getting rid of me now.
So we'll be drinking bourbon on Friday.
Nice.
And
He is gonna yell at me about
when
pop-up
I saw
headlights.
that announcement on Instagram, on Johnny's Instagram. So I hit up Spike and I'm like, "Am I out?"
Yeah, what's up?
And when I saw Jerry was like, "Did you think you were out?" Because I thought like Seinfeld thought he was out.
He was out too.
He was like, "Am I out?" Everyone thought they were out.
Once again, double book. Lieberman will be on our show Thursday. So
And
sorry
then
about that.
And then also, he's doing he's
He's
Thursday?
doing our show on
Oh my
Thursday,
God,
yeah.
he's really making the rounds.
Yeah.
And then we're doing, I'm doing music breakdown session with Christian Friday at noon Pacific here live. We're doing Iron Maiden.
I love that dude.
And of course, Johnny is going to sit in.
Yep.
Oh, nice.
And so I was like, "Christian, am I out?" Yeah. This is fucking bullshit. He's like, "You're not out. You're not out. It's okay." And I don't know anything about Iron Maiden. I don't listen to Iron Maiden.
Me
So
neither,
I'm
but
just
Christian's
gonna
awesome, dude.
I'm just going to sit there and get high and listen to them talk about Iron Maiden.
Good times.
Yeah, listen to the session on air on Instagram. If you are a fan of music, go follow that shit. All right. Thanks, everybody. Chris, it was excellent.
Dude, thank you.
Jay,
Love you, buddy.
bye.
Yeah.
Goodbye forever.
See you guys Friday. Peace.
Thanks, Zach.